Welcome to HTM. Today, we dive into one of NASA's most thrilling projects, the Space Launch System, SLS, and the Artemis program, which aims to take us back to the Moon and later to Mars. SLS. The Space Launch System is NASA's most powerful rocket ever built and one of the world's mightiest rockets. Designed to carry astronauts and cargo far into space, SLS is a vital part of NASA's efforts to explore the Moon and then Mars. At 98 meters high, SLS is capable of lifting 95 metric tons into low Earth orbit in its Block 1 configuration. Future upgrades will increase this capacity to 130 metric tons in the Block 2 version. SLS consists of several components that make it among the most advanced and strongest rockets ever built. It contains two solid rocket boosters, a massive core stage, and an upper stage that work together to provide the thrust needed for deep space missions. The two solid rocket boosters, standing at 54 meters, provide more than 3/4 of the total thrust during the first 2 minutes of flight. The core stage, powered by 4 RS-25 engines, holds about 2.03 million liters of liquid hydrogen and liquid oxygen fuel mixture. Fun fact: did you know that the RS-25 engines in the SLS were originally made for the Space Shuttle? They've been upgraded to be even more powerful and efficient for the SLS. Another cool fact is that the SLS can hit speeds of up to 39,000 km per hour, making it one of the fastest rockets ever. A critical part of the SLS system is the launch tower, also called the mobile launcher. This 116-meter tall structure supports the rocket during preparations and launch. It has various systems to fuel, monitor, and secure the rocket until liftoff. The tower weighs around 10,000 metric tons and has 9 umbilical arms that connect to the rocket to provide power, fuel, and cooling. Getting ready for a launch is a complex and detailed process. Engineers and technicians work for months to ensure every part of the SLS and the launch tower works perfectly. From testing systems to final checks, every step is vital for a successful mission. The process involves over 500,000 unique tasks, from fueling the rocket with 2.03 million liters of propellant to making sure the launch tower's structure is safe. Fun fact: the countdown clock, which tracks the final moments before liftoff, has several built-in pauses to let engineers handle any last-minute problems. These pauses can last from a few minutes to several hours, depending on how complicated the issue is. The Artemis program is NASA's ambitious plan to return to the Moon and prepare for future Mars missions. It consists of a series of missions, each with specific goals that build towards sustainable lunar exploration and eventual human Mars exploration. Artemis represents the next giant leap for humanity. Artemis 1. Artemis 1 was an uncrewed test mission that sent the Orion spacecraft around the Moon and back. This mission was key for testing both the SLS and Orion in real flight conditions, showing what these systems can do in deep space. The mission covered about 2.1 million kilometers and lasted around 26 days. Originally scheduled to fly in 2017, Artemis 1 faced several delays before finally launching in November 2022. Artemis 2. Artemis 2 will be the first crewed mission of the program, marking the return of humans to lunar orbit. 4 astronauts will journey around the Moon and back, gathering valuable data and testing systems for future landings. These 4 astronauts will go down in history as the farthest humans from Earth ever. The mission will last for about 10 days and will test life support systems and communication capabilities in deep space. Artemis 3. Artemis 3 is focused on landing astronauts on the Moon to establish a sustainable human presence on its surface. During their stay of up to 6.5 days, astronauts will conduct scientific research, discover new areas, and lay the groundwork for future Mars missions through various tests and activities. A key component of future Artemis missions is the Lunar Gateway, a space station that will orbit the Moon. The Gateway will serve as a staging point for lunar landings and a research outpost. It will support longer missions on the lunar surface and help develop technologies for future Mars expeditions. The Gateway will be approximately 1/6 the size of the International Space Station, ISS, and will include modules from international partners like ESA and JAXA. The Artemis program is just the beginning. NASA has ambitious plans for future missions that will build on the success of Artemis to create a sustainable presence on the Moon and prepare for human expeditions to Mars. This includes developing lunar bases, advanced habitats, and new technologies for deep space travel. One exciting development is the Lunar Surface Innovation Initiative, which aims to create new tools and systems for living and working on the Moon. Additionally, the Artemis Base Camp will provide a long-term foothold on the Moon's surface, supporting missions that could last up to 2 months.